Hi everybody, today is Saturday, April 11th, 2026. I had the opportunity to buy this book called, the title is The Versailles Treaty and Its Legacy, The Failure of the Wilsonian Vision. It has two authors' name, so it is here. It is published by Cambridge University Press. It has 273 pages. It contains, let me see how many chapters it has. Um, 12 chapters. So, what is the significance of investing money in this book, reading it, and what kind of a knowledge do you acquire from it? And how it is relevant to the world that we live in today? Well, it happened during 1919. So, what is the big deal? So, when we are looking at it, during World War One, Germany waged war against other European countries like France, England, and Ottoman Empire was on the side of the Germany. But what happened with Germany, it didn't win the war and it didn't lose the war. That's how they see themselves. They saw themselves. That's how the country of Germany saw. They say we had an armistice agreement. That's all. But the issue is this, that France and England wanted to humiliate Germany, and they impose heavy amount of financial pressure on Germany, and it caused hyperinflation on Germany. So it caused lots of problem for Germany. That's what was happening. And we need to look at the role of the United States of America at the time when the World War I ended. Woodrow Wilson had a vision. Okay, I just want to find it on this page. It's very interesting. It is page 11 that it says, on Independence Day 1914, Wilson again staked out an American claim to world leadership. My dream, he said, is that as the world knows more and more of America, it will turn to America for those moral inspirations which lie at the basis of all freedom, and that America will come into the full light of the day when her flag is the flag not only of America but of humanity. So we need to understand it's not just Wilson was thinking in this way. Britain, France, Germany, all of them were thinking in this manner. That was the reason, one of the reasons to have World War One. It was a world domination. Who will dominate the world? And Wilson, on the same page, Wilson found greater promise for the country's activity involvement in world affairs, in historical American nationalism, based on the supposition that American civilization was superior to that of other continents. That was the key point in Wilson. He wanted that American flag to be used in all other countries. But the point is, what he did not understand, the page 1 of the book, needs to be a balance of power. That is very important. This balance system requires the existence of a preponderance of power that was prepared under duress to confront any unwanted assaults on the established order. In recent centuries, the European balance of power had always triumphed over any assaults on the status quo that became too ambitious. If the balance of power failed to prevent wars, it limited their consequences, and thereby preserved the existing order of power, encouraging restraint and accommodation. So the balance of power needs to be weighed out here. At that time, things will get out of hand when there is no balance of power. But we also need to look at how Russia was playing out here. Russia played a vital role during World War One because what was happening, it was the communism. There was a fear of communism was spreading. Workers' revolution or proletarian revolution took place in Russia, and it caused other nations to be fearful of Russia. And it created really complexity to the European countries that they were aristocracy or a monarchy system because they didn't want to change the status quo. And after war, it had a very devastating impact on the social structure of the European countries. And something needs to change. I highly recommend for anybody who wants to read history books and to understand how World War One shaped the world today, they should read this book. And after that, they perhaps I highly recommend it for others to look into the League of Nations. And that will be my next book report that I will be doing. I will not be doing book review because my knowledge about this area is very limited, so I cannot do a book review. But the book report I did it, and it's a really good book. I picked up some concepts that I needed to understand the European countries, such as the three emperors Europe had, and how that was shaping the Europe. These are very important concepts for someone who could read this book, understand, and to become knowledgeable about how the world functions, why the world is like this right now, and what happened. World War One was very significant. Also, Bismarck War we had with Spain, that was very impactful toward World War One. So it is very complex situation that why World War One happened, but you need to know that how the European countries were trying to remap their European countries and after the continent of Africa because there was a competition over natural resources and they want to push Ottoman Empire back. Thank you.